Good morning, YouTube. And what have we got here? This is the Loftybiker. I've just been to Damerells. I've just picked up the brand new 2021 Royal Enfield Meteor 350. And I've got to say, I looked at it in the showroom and I thought, wow, the finish, the actual build quality, it's unbelievable. When you remember back to some of the 350 and 500 bullets with shoddy wells and mismatched plastic and all sorts of stuff. I've got to say, this is proper on the button. And my first impression is, I think the engine suits the style really well. Anyway, I'm going to drop a bit of petrol in. I'll be back with you in a minute. So we've got a brand new bike, and it's barely running, so we'll be nice and gentle with it. I'll just talk you through what we've got on the dash. We've got a big clock on the left with the idiot lights and an LCD in the middle. It's got a fuel gauge, gear position indicator and an odo. And round the outside we've got an analog speedometer, no tacho. On the right we've got the little clock. I'll just show you this one here. It's the Tripper. I think it's called the Tripper. It's a bit like the Beeline. It's you link your phone to it and it gives you directions. Oh, where we go, mate? It gives you directions. So I'm not sure what the app's like. I've not downloaded it. I can't actually judge on it. But the same one was on the Himalayan. That's on this. I've got to say, my first impression when I saw the bike was, that's a little bit dinky. Will I fit? And to be honest, with the forward pegs, it gives quite a roomy position. I'm 6'5", as you know, big lad, the Loftybiker, and I do not find this uncomfortable one bit. Let's just wind it back a little bit. So we've got a 5-speed box. And we're just cruising along now, just shy of 50. Typical naked. There's 3 variants. I'll talk about that in the walk round. But there's 3 little variants, and they're all slightly different, whether it's the seat or a backrest or a fly screen or whatever. Straight away, my first impression is it's just easy peasy riding. If you just want to relax and have a bit of a ride round, you're in not much of a hurry. I suppose you could call it a micro scooter, because they call hogs Harley Davidson scooters, the Yanks do. I don't know why. We call them cruisers. And this is a micro cruiser, a little scooter. As I mentioned earlier, it's not done many miles, so I'm not sure what the brakes are going to be like and everything. The initial feel's not too bad. I noticed straight away when I was looking at it in the showroom, it's got braided hoses. Round these Nadgery lanes, in between Sngle and Indian Qeens, this is the ideal type of bike. If you wanted to just pop down at the beach, park up and go for a swim, then nip to a cafe and have something to eat. How good's this? Mark did mention about the gear lever. Those of you who are used to a custom will be aware of the heel and toe gear change, and he mentioned that one of his customers was a little bit sceptical about the heel and toe. Now, I've got on it, to be fair, and I've not really noticed it. I've not found it, to be fair, I've not found it an issue for me at all. My foot fits underneath. I can use it as a normal gear lever, but it's just as easy to put your heel on it and go up the box. So it's toe for down and heel for up. It's adjustable. Of course there's a spline shaft. You just knock it round on the spline if you want the toe a little bit higher, or you want the heel a little bit higher too. So it's easily sorted, that's not a problem. So I'm going to continue down the lanes and have a bit of fun. Here's the old carousel on the left. Don't seem a lot of action yet, does there? Only how some things have burst back into life and others not really shown much at all, have they? I'm really looking forward to showing you around this, because when I walked in the showroom, it just pinged at me. You know, sometimes you look at bikes and they just bing, it shoots out at you. I'm not a big fan of yellow bikes, although I'm a Wolverhampton Wanderers fan, but don't hold it against me. Old gold and black. This is a lovely yellow. It's so deep and lustrous. Thank you very much, Mr. Tractor Driver. There's not much point in over revving it. It's not got a lot of power. What's your average 125? About 11 and a half, 12. This is 20. So if you'd been used to riding your 125 and you wanted a little bit bigger bike, you wouldn't be over intimidated. It's about 20 brake horsepower, and it's a single cylinder, bit of a plodder. Take a left here. Because there's no tacho, I don't really know what sort of revs I'm doing. I'm just feeling through it. But there, we went through the gearbox. I'm up with traffic. I'm in a 60 zone. I'm in a national, but the traffic's cruising along at 50, and we're having no trouble whatsoever keeping up with the traffic, which is always nice to know. I did see one of the reviews where a lot of people suggested it might be a girlies type bike or whatever, but no, I must admit, now I've seen it, I tend to disagree. I think this bike would suit anyone, and I think it would suit anyone of any age. If you're moving up or moving down, it's extremely light, it's very manoeuvrable and very, very easy to ride. Yeah, easy peasy. I'm going to chuck a left here and go down the lanes again, because I want to keep away from the traffic so I can have a bit of fun. Yeah, the front brake could probably do with bedding in a bit. It's a bit brand new. It feels brand new. It feels like it's new pads and definitely not bedded in. The back brake's probably had a little bit more use. I generally find with the cruiser style bikes, especially where you're sitting down on the back, you tend to get slightly more effort through the back brake than what you do on a conventional bike. We'll try and bed them in a little bit for when I do the brake test. They do improve, of course. They're Boybris, made in India. These bikes are made in India, totally and utterly 100% made in India. And to be fair, I think they've come a long way. The standard of workmanship and build quality, it's as good as anything I've seen for a while. Holes are lined lovely. I would say the suspension's on the firm side. We've got twin shocks on, but it's quite, I'd say the chassis is well sorted. It's quite stiff. What I did notice, last time I had a twin shock bike, I had a T100, the 885, the early one, whatever the middle one, it was the one with the fuel injection, the first fuel injected one of the bigger engine. And that used to squirrel a bit at the back. You used to get the torsional stiffness, if you like, through the frame wasn't good. And I think it was a lot to do with the shock absorbers. So when I upgraded the shock absorbers and I put Agans on, it was a lot better. But I get the impression the Indians have learned a lot. And out of all the bikes I've ridden, the new range of Indian made bikes, sorry, I've not found any problems with the shocks or the forks at all. This doesn't really dive much. Switch gear is different. I'll mention that when we walk around. They've used different switch gear from the Himalayan and the Interceptor and Continental. It's been a long time since I've ridden a Bullet, so I can't really remember it that much. I just remember them being very agricultural. This feels far more refined. See, we're holding 50 around these lanes without really trying. It's not bad for a little 350. I have been swapping around between 4th and 5th, but it's no detriment to the ride. We'll be coming out on the main road shortly, and I'll take it up the hill, and we'll do a bit of an acceleration test. Now this is dinky. I'm not sure whether you know, but I do ride scooters as well. I've got, me and the wife, we share a scooter. I've got a little Lambretta 250 GTS, and we've got a J300 Kawasaki. And if we were going out, I had something like this, I'd think, great, come on, we'll have a lovely day out on the scooters or nip out on one of these. I'm not sure what it's like from the pillion point of view. I've just put my hand behind, there is a seat there, I never really noticed. It's got a single cockpit seat for the rider, and there's the typical square cruiser style fanny pad on the back. They're not generally comfortable, but I don't know if you'd be going that far on one of these if you was having a bit of a pose going down a bike meet or to a cafe or something, you and the missus. I don't think it'd be a problem at all. It's noticeable. It's not got the power that the 400 Himalayan had. That was that little bit, that extra 60 odd cc or 70 cc it probably needed. Makes all the difference with that little bit of extra torque to get the pickup. But this will comfortably, well, what am I doing now? I'm just about up to 55. It'll comfortably do 55. Probably goes faster, I don't know, but I don't see any point on these roads. I've got to say, I prefer these tyres to the ones that was on the Continental. Just first impressions on a brand new tyre. These are very nice. They're round profile, smooth, hardly any vibrations whatsoever. So here's we come to the island. Just drop it down. Use both sides of the piston, running it in. Indicator switch is quite easy to get to. So second gear roll on. That's about the maximum you'd want to rev it. Third gear, 55, still pulling, 58. So we're going up the dual carriageway, we're pulling 60 mile an hour, and traffic's not really pulling away from us. There's a little bit of vibration in the handlebars at 60, and a little bit of vibration in the mirrors at 60. But it's not uncomfortable. It's not the type of bike you're going to buy to sit on the dual carriageway and blast 70 mile. It's the bike you're going to buy to get on them A and B roads, cruise around between 45 and 55 and take your time. Nice and steady around the island, cruising around in third. I've got a nice little spot just up here for a walk round where I get less traffic. Yeah, the handling's really nice. So we'll take a right. Yeah, the brakes are more than adequate, to be fair. I'll give them a test in the second half. Here we go. Okay, we might as well have a go at a U-turn while we're here. Bit of back brake. Oh yeah, absolute doddle. Pop, 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 pop. No problem whatsoever. Let's have a look at how easy neutral is to find. Easy. Side stand, easy. Seem to lean over quite a way. There we go. I'll see you in a minute. Good morning YouTube, the Lofty Biker here. Out on my travels once again. I've got a lovely little bit of kit for you here. The Royal Enfield Meteor 350. What a lovely looking bike. Very impressed. Let's have a look at it. Okay, there you are. What do you think? Forward controls. Proper cruiser style rear. Big grab bars. Here's the clocks. I'll just switch them on. There's the little tripper. What have we got? Very simple. Turn knobs, kill, run, start. Hazard warning. Other side, high and low, pass light, horn, indicators. Got a nice top. Lockable fuel tank. Here's the gear lever affair we was talking about. I'm not sure what you can see. Let's just come round a little bit. So we got a heel and toe, but it's very easy to adjust. It's not a problem. You even get a centre stand. Mag wheels. So let's just talk about it. The Royal Enfield Meteor 350. There's the Supernova, the Stella and the Fireball. They're all slightly different, but they start from 3,499 working up to about 3,900. So it's less than £4,000 on the road, whichever model you have. It's a single cylinder 4-stroke, oil air cooled. 20.2 brake horsepower at 6,100 revs. I don't think it needs revving that high personally. 27 newton meters at 4,000 revs. The sweet spot for me feels between 4 and 5. 6 seems a bit much. Fuel injected Euro 5, chain drive, electric start. It's got a little 17 on the back and a 19 on the front. Come like the Continental, it comes with a fender extender. Fantastic. 270 single disc on the back and a 300 twin piston caliper on the front. Like I said, Byberry, also braided lines front and back. We've got a 15 litre fuel tank. The seat is a low, very low, 765 millimetres. Whether they do a low seat option or a high seat option, Mark didn't say, so I'm not 100% sure. 191 kilograms, 191 kilograms, that's lovely. Sub 200, I think anything sub 200 these days is fabulous. Really, really smart. Like I said, let's have a look close. Look at these welds. I'm not sure you can see these, but they're welds. There's nothing wrong at all. All around the headstock, everywhere. The finish is superb. Finish on the engine. It's like a black anodised. Shiny swinging arm, box section swinging arm, collector box underneath. Yeah, really smart. We got Seat tyres, whatever they are. Probably some sort of Indian owned brand. But to be fair, that felt really nice. They're fairly chunky in profile. There you go. Let's go and give it a ride. See you in a minute. You know, some bikes, you just park them up and you think, oh, it's a motorbike. I really do think this is a good looking machine. If you park that anywhere, I'll guarantee within 5 minutes, somebody will be coming over to talk to you about it. And say, oh, remember when my granddad had a Royal Enfield back in the day? Right. Here we go. Quite warm today, it's lovely. I could ride around on this all day, to be fair. You know, sometimes you have a bike and you think, I wish I could go a bit of a ride and have a bit longer, so I'm not taking it back yet. I'm going to have a bit longer on this. So we'll have a bit of a brake test then, shall we? We're going downhill, so we've got a bit of extra momentum, so I'll do 35 in third, nobody about, front brakes. Not bad, to be fair, considering they do definitely need bedding in. I missed the heel change there. There, I got it. So same again, going down the hill. We get up to 35. Nothing about. Yeah, well, quite impressed with the back brake, to be fair. I did mark the Himalayan down, although it's got a 2-stage ABS, and the Continental a little bit, for being a bit skitty on the back, especially the Himalayan. I thought it was a nice fox straight across the road there. Hello, Mr. Fox. I thought it was an early version, if you like. You can tell that there's more research and development gone into the newer bikes at Bruntingthorpe. The actual ABS is far more sophisticated on this Meteor than what it was on the other models. And for the single, it's very smooth. Quite impressive, really. I say this a lot. Us testers, we must be the most boring people you've ever come across, because we review bikes and all we ever say to you is how good they are. But to be honest with you, it's very difficult to buy a bad bike. I think you can buy an unsuitable bike, but to be honest, I don't think you can buy a bad bike. I'm not sure what the service intervals are on these. I know on the Himalayan they're quite tight, about every 4,000 miles, and it did put some people off buying that model, because, and the other thing was the valves needed checking every time. Now Mark assures me this is a brand new engine, so the Himalayan must have been developed over the last 5 years. But this has been probably developed over the last 2 or 3. So I'm hoping they've got that sorted with a slightly longer service interval, especially for the valve check. But to be honest with you, it's not the sort of bike you're going to be thrashing and giving it too much stick. It's easy going, it's a cruiser. Anyway, I'm going to find somewhere to turn round and I'm going to head back. Have a sandwich and a bit of lunch and then take something else out. I hope it's as good as this. This has really shocked me. We all make comparisons, and I'm going to make a comparison now with the Rebel. If you're in the market for a 500 Rebel or the 350 Meteor, I wouldn't part with any money until you've ridden both. Seriously. I know the Rebel's been running a while now and it's got that proven engine. That is a very, very good engine, that 500 engine. Very good engine, but to be honest, I'd want you to ride this as well. Because it's the days where the Indians and the Chinese was a laughing stock. They're not no more. You've got to take them seriously. The build quality on this is beautiful. And for me, the colour schemes, this is the yellow, like I said, there's a red and there's a green, there's a two-tone. They're far, far better than Honda. I think some of the Honda bikes, you look, like I said, when you keep looking at this, I think if you was to park this and a Rebel next to each other, which, let's face it, they're probably going after the same market. I think people would be looking at this. I know we're all vain, aren't we? We all like to think we've got something people desire or like. But if you're the market for a cheap bike, sub £4,000, let's face it, you can't buy a 125 Yamaha less than £4,000. So if you have passed your test and you're looking for something a little bit more go, get yourself one of these. 3,000, I think 3.9, the top of the range. 3.9, absolute bargain. It's getting obscene, people talking about 20 grand and 22 grand for bikes. And with the ever imposing speed limits we're getting, what's the point in having a bike you're using 3% of the throttle? You might as well buy something you can use 60% or 70% of the throttle and have a bit of fun. You ain't going to get locked up or arrested on a Royal Enfield Meteor, but I promise you, you'll have some fun. I love it to bits. It's the best Enfield I've ridden. It's not the best looking, the Continental GT is the best looking, but it's the best Enfield I've ridden. I think it's absolutely superb and comfortable. Really comfortable. Anyway, it's up to you, make your minds up. If you've enjoyed the video, you'd like to see some more, have a look on my channel, The Lofty Biker. If you'd like to subscribe so you don't miss anything, press that button, ring the bell. We're back at the island, I'm not far away now. No grinding the pegs on here, shall we go all the way round? Oh yeah, we got a bit of a grind out. Quick before the lorry comes, oh yeah, and again. It's not bad though. How good's that? Great fun. I'm like a big kid, ain't I? Oh, this bike's put a smile on my face. Anyway, this is the Lofty Biker. Thanking the boys at Damerells again for letting me have a bike. It's the Lofty Biker saying ta-da for now. Ta-da.